and welcome back to my channel, Happy Artist. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on the extra tips that I'm going to be giving you in my next videos. As promised, this is a tree ring acrylic pour project. Say that fast. Now I know you're doing it. Imagine this. You cut a tree down, or a tree, and you see the rings of each year that the tree has grown. Those are called tree rings, and that's why this technique is called a tree ring pour. Let's get started. I'm very excited. This is my first attempt at this one, so I'm going to speed it up very quickly because there were a few things that I learned. Firstly, my paints were a little bit too runny, so the paint ran all over the canvas. Number two, my paints weren't mixed at the same consistency, so you can see as I'm starting to mix the colors and tilt the canvas that the rings are starting to disappear as some colors are running over others. Number three, and this is something I really have to start working on, when it comes to bigger canvases, I'm too nervous to mix enough paint. Try and make sure that you actually mix maybe slightly more paint than what you would expect. You can always use that extra paint on another project. Alright guys, you'll see in this cup over here, my master cup, let's call it, I've put something to split the cup in half. Literally all I've just used is an ice cream tub, and it does go all the way to the bottom as well. The reason we split these is to try and create different colors on either side of the cup, and it's also going to help us create the rings. When doing a tree ring pour like this, it's good to have a slightly thicker consistency than usual. So you'll see it is slightly thicker. It's still dripping off my stick, but thicker than the usual warm honey that I've explained once before. The reason for this is to try and keep the rings a bit more consistent. If they are too thin or too runny when they've been mixed, they're going to run quite quickly over your canvas, and you're not going to have that beautiful consistent ring on ring on ring. When you pour these beautiful colors into your master cup, try and keep the colors contrasting. I'm going to start with the white, but then I wouldn't necessarily pour my slightly pearlescent light blue in next, because you won't really see the two. I would rather do a white and then my dark blue, then the light blue. Something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the white at the bottom on both sides. Keep in mind, whatever you pour at the bottom is the last color that's going to come out of this cup. What I would suggest you do now, instead of just pouring right on top of the white, try and pour along the side of the cup, just to try and help the layers a little bit. So as you can see so far, see, it's layered on top. As you start to finish your paints, do try and get the paint level on both sides. Alrighty, now I'm going to take this split out so that the two colors will still stand right next to each other, but they're not going to mix just yet. Very, very slowly. And make sure you don't drop anything on the canvas. Now we're going to start pouring on the canvas. When you do so, you want to pour right in the middle of the canvas and in a circular motion, constantly. And you're going to pour along that line. Oh, hoping for the best. So, now that everything is on the canvas, you're going to tilt very slightly. But as you tilt, try and tilt it in a circular motion constantly. try and help the paint a little bit, I'm going to put a layer of white down. Once I had painted everything, I didn't want to just leave it with the white negative space and the rings. So I thought, why not blend this a little bit and use the Dutch pour technique with a straw. It's amazing. You can see there are some cells that are being developed here, and I have no cell oil activator in these paints. So what's happening? It just has to do with the densities of the paints. Some of them are slightly lighter than others, and the lighter ones are pulling to the top. If you did want to create cells, have a quick look at this video over here. It'll give you loads of tips and help you understand how cells are created. A friend of mine sent me a photo of a tree ring pour in blue colors, aqua colors, very beautiful, and asked me if I would be able to do something similar. That's where I got the inspiration for this project. I'd like you to challenge me. In my next tree ring pour, what colors should I use? And voila! I am so proud of how this came out. I really enjoyed it, and I think its owner is going to enjoy it too. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope you have a magical day. Ciao for now. I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, morning, wherever you're at. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. As promised, this video is a tree ring pour. Say that fast enough. Right, so now that that one is done, and I've had number 2, try and make sure that you... No.